Yeriya Awasai Suwa Awasandiwa Awasai Sandiwa Kadamedasa Ida Begawe Begu Pinjinga Webino Hodi Chalinga Samanagada Ekareko Chadura Basino Vanona Vijega Sija Samawaya Satisano Nawila Singapore Pasada Gaya Singhara Suimoda Jada Suimoda Binya. Masisara aphorism. Can you follow me? To abandon the 5 factors, to be fulfilled with the 6 factors, and 1 protection, to depend on the 4 supports, and to dispel personal truths, to be free from searching, to have pure thoughts, to calm the in and out breath, to have a well-liberated mind, a well-liberated wisdom. The fully enlightened Buddha expounded the 10 features of Ariyavasa. So 10 features of Ariyavasa. Chatura Pasino, we need to depend on 4 supports. 4 supports are to use one thing, to endure another, to avoid stay another, and to dispel another. After depending on 4 supports, to protect all the dangers, we need protection. That is mindfulness. So you are developing mindfulness by observing every object, manifesting at the 6 senses, and you have to encounter the 5 mental hindrances. In the beginning, yogi have not yet developed continuous mindfulness and strong concentration. Then you cannot gain control over your mind. So it would wander as freely as always to every sense object it likes. Such an unruly mental states are nivarana. They hinder our satipatthana path. So Buddha mentioned these 5 mental hindrances as Pinjinga Vibhino, 5 factors to abandon. To explain more detail, Buddha asked the question to the monks, Katinja Bhikkhu Bhikkhu, Pinjinga Vibhino Hodi. Bhikkhus, how has a practitioner abandoned 5 factors? Buddha answered, Ida Bhikkhu Bhikkhu no, Kamijano Bhino Hodi, Vyavado Bhino Hodi, Tinamitam Bhino Hodi, Odija Gogoja Binahodi, Vichikeja Binahodi. Here, bhikkhus has abandoned sensual desire, ill will, sloth and double, restlessness and remorse, and skeptic and doubt. It is in this way that a bhikkhu has abandoned 5 factors. Kamachanda, Vyavara, Tinamida, Udija, Gugoja. We finish, and today we have to go to the last hindrance, Vichikeja, doubt. The fifth hindrance to our enlightenment is doubt, Vichikeja. It is not the doubt as we do our daily affairs, like whether we should take this road or that road to our destination, which road we have to go. We have that kind of doubt. And there's a doubt whether this person's name is this, that person's name is that, and so on. That kinds of doubt. It is not the doubt as to our daily affairs. Such kinds of doubt forms no hindrance to our enlightenment. The hindrance is the doubt about the triple gem, true Buddha, true Dhamma, and true Sangha. Doubt about whether the Gautama Buddha, the historical Buddha, is really the omniscience, whether the enlightenment, Megaphala, and ultimate peacefulness, Nibbana, are really what they mean, and so on, that kinds of doubt. Such skeptical doubt is compared to uncertainty at a crossroads. For example, a trader at the crossroads in the forest feels uncertain of whether he should turn right or turn left, while the robbers who want to rob his properties and money are in hot pursuit of him. Unless that trader can overcome his uncertainty before too late, the robbers may catch and kill him right on the spot and take his all properties. So he was killed and his property was robbed. Bad results because of his uncertainty to choose the road. In the same way, a meditator resembles the traveler who goes to a new place, a place he or she has never been to. Of course, a meditator has never been to Nibbana. which is therefore figuratively called as a place Pudujana, ordinary person, has never been. The kinds of place Pudujana, ordinary worldling, has never been is called Akatan Disam. In the external world, there is no place we have never been to, because samsara is very, very long. Every places we have been to in long samsara. We may think this is a new place. A new place means just a place you cannot remember. We think it's a new place because we do not remember. Literally, there is no country on earth. There's no realm in the celestial realms except for the Sayadaw, pure abode, that we have never been to. Everywhere we have been to, all the 6 celestial realms, Chatumarajika realms, Tawadesa realms, Yama realms, Tutisa realm, Nimanarati realms, Pranamita Vasavati, and Brahma realms. All the realms we have been to, except for the 5 pure abodes, Sayadaw. Sayadaw we have never been to. But Nibbana and the path to Nibbana transcend ordinary human experience, exactly like a traveler to a new place in a secular world. Nibbana is totally new to a yogi, and therefore he or she should strictly follow the guidelines given by the Buddha instead of harboring the skeptical doubt about it. So the instruction, the Vipassana instruction we are practicing is the Buddha's Satipatthana method. So this Satipatthana path will lead us to Nibbana, the cessation of all suffering. Today we need to explain Satipatthana, that all the yogis are practicing, all the yogis are working on this Satipatthana path. So the meaning is setting up of a firm mindfulness or establishing a firm mindfulness. So the practice of establishing firm mindfulness is called foundations of mindfulness, Satipatthana. Four foundations, Kaya, Vedana, Chitta, and Dhamma. So in this method, Buddha said that there are four foundations of mindfulness. When you practice this method, in the retreat like this, you practice all these four foundations of mindfulness. But you practice them choicelessly and not one after another. For foundation, Kaya, Vedana, Chitta, and Dhamma, body, feeling, consciousness, and Dhamma. You practice them choicelessly and not one after another in the order given in the method. That is because when you practice this method, the path leading to the cessation of suffering, you have to be mindful of the object at the present moment. You cannot afford not to be mindful of the object at the present moment. The object at the present moment can be any one of these four, Kaya, Vedana, Chitta, and Dhamma. Sometimes the Kaya, body, sometimes Vedana, feelings, sometimes Chitta, consciousness, and sometimes Dhamma, objects. So you have to take these objects as they come. You have no choice. That is why sometimes this method is called choiceless awareness. That means you have no choice. You just have to take what is presented to you. Sometimes rising, falling, Kaya is evident. Sometimes thinking a lot, Chitta. Sometimes mental hindrances. You have to take what is presented to you. So you practice these four foundations of mindfulness choicelessly when you practice this Satipatthana method. Here in the summary, Buddha taught us how to practice the four foundations of mindfulness. So what are the four? Ita bhikkhve bhikkhu kaye kayanupasi viharati atapi sampajano satima viniyaloke bija domnasa. The method you are reciting every day. Herein, a practitioner dwells contemplating the body in the body, ardent, clearly comprehending and mindful, overcoming covetousness and grief in the world. It is a very short technique, but it has many meanings. Kaya kaya nupasi viharati. You dwell contemplating the body in the body. That means when yogi practice mindfulness of the body, you are precise. You contemplate the body in the body, and you do not contemplate the feeling in the body. You do not contemplate the person in the body, and so on. So you contemplate the body in the body. In order to have a precise object, Buddha repeated the words Kaya Kayanupasi, Vedanasu Vedananupasi, Jete Jetanupasi, Dhammesu Dhammanupasi. Repeated the words body, feeling, consciousness, and Dhamma in this method. So that means you are precise in your mindfulness of the body. You are precise in your mindfulness of the feeling. You are precise in the mindfulness of consciousness and the dhammas. When you practice Kayanupasana, body contemplation, you are ardent, you are clearly comprehending, and you are mindful. Atapi, Sambhajano, and Satima. Atapi, you encourage yourself all the time with regard to the word ardent. Atapa, atapi comes from the word atapa. Atapa means heat of the sun. Heat of the sun can heat up things so that things become withered and they may even burn. So in the same way, the effort heats up your mental defilements and burns them up. So it is called atapa in Pali. And practitioner who has atapa, who have other energy, is called atapi. The E denoting possession. So the practitioner who possesses atapa, other energy, is called atapi. When you read the Sutta in Pali and when you read the word atapi, you have that in your mind. You see the effort burning up your mental defilements. When you translate this word into English as ardent, you lose that image. So atapi means practitioner makes real effort, not a slack effort. You make a real effort to be mindful and to clearly comprehend. When Bodhisattva sat down under the Bodhi tree to practice to become the Buddha, he made a very firm resolution in his mind. May my skin, sinew, and bones remain, and may my flesh and blood dry up, but I will not desist from this effort. I will not give up this superhuman effort until I reach Buddhahood. I will not get up from this seat until I reach Buddhahood. I will make every effort to achieve my aim. Bodhisattva made this very firm resolution in his mind. Such an effort is called right effort. So to make the right effort means you have to make a really good effort, not a slackening effort. The word atapi implies all these meanings. The right effort is the right effort that is one of the 8 factors of the path. Right effort means to remove unwholesome mental state, to avoid unwholesome mental states, and to acquire and cultivate wholesome mental states. In order to resist unwholesome mental states, in order to resist evil, you need mental effort. If you do not make effort, you cannot resist evil. So effort is very useful, removing unwholesome mental states and also to cultivate wholesome mental states. To develop wholesome mental states, you need effort. If you do not make effort, you do not come here because 2 months intensive retreat is very tough. You really need to make effort. If you do not make effort, you do not come. If you do not want to make effort, you do not go to this retreat at all. So you need a real strong effort to practice the foundations of mindfulness. Here also Buddha described the practitioner as being ardent, which means you have that kinds of effort that burns up the mental defilements. That is indicated by the word atapi in the Pali text. So no doubt you need to put more. You need to put real effort in this method. And then atapi sambhajano, clear comprehending. Clear comprehending means clearly seeing. Whatever object you put your mind on, you see it clearly. What does clearly mean? You see the object, you see Namarupa thoroughly. You see Namarupa, you see 5 aggregates with wisdom. When you concentrate on breathing, when you concentrate on the abdomen rising, for instance, you see breathing or abdomen clearly. You see the rising abdomen distantly from falling abdomen. You see the falling abdomen, falling movement, distantly from rising abdomen, rising movement. And also you see that the movement, stiffness, tension arises and disappear, and that at that moment, there are only the movement or stiffness or tension and the awareness of that movement. Only Namarupa and no other things. The rising movement, falling movement, stiffness arising and disappearing. Cannot be called a person, cannot be called an individual, man or woman, etc. Such understanding is called sambhajano, clear comprehension. When you have clear comprehension about something, you know that things and all its aspects. And also according to the method, you know that they are just the rupa observed and the nama, mind that observe. So there is none other which you could call a person or an individual or a man or a woman. There is only just nama and rupa, objects and knowing. You see clearly. Seeing in this way is called sambhajano, clear comprehension. This clear comprehension will come only after some time, not right at the beginning. Some yogis report very, very clearly. You practice mindfulness, but right at the beginning, you may not even see the abdomen or rising, falling clearly. Sometimes these namarupa are mixed together and very vague. Little by little, day by day, month by month, with the growth of your concentration and practice, you will see these namarupa more and more clearly. And then also they are arising and disappearing and so on. So this clear comprehension comes not right at the beginning, but after you have gained some experience. In order for this clear comprehension to arise, we need one more thing, although it is not mentioned in this method. We need one more thing, and that is concentration. Samadhi. Without concentration, clear comprehension cannot come. Concentration is a mental state, is a mental factors which keeps the components of mind squarely on the object and does not let them go to other objects. That is what we call concentration. It is usually described as the mind being able to be on an object for a long period of time. For example, if you take the breathing, rising and falling of falling as an object, your mind is always on the breathing, the movement, and the mind does not go anywhere else. That is what we call concentration. Actually, at every moment, also the mental factors, which is called concentration, keeps your mind and its components unified on the object. It keeps them together and does not let them go to another object. This concentration is essential for clear comprehension to arise. Without this concentration, we cannot hope to see Namarupa or five aggregates clearly. We cannot hope to get clear comprehension. When we get concentration, our mind calms down and becomes quiet, and that is the time when we begin to see things. It is like water. At first, there is dirt, there is mud in the water, and so we cannot see through the water. But when the dirt or mud settle down and the water becomes clear, we can see through it. So mind needs to be like the water, settled, because there are a lot of mental defilements in our mind. So long as our minds are contaminated by mental defilements, we cannot see Namarupa or five aggregates clearly. So we need to suppress these mental defilements. Which are called mental hindrances, nivarana, pinchinga vipino, need to abandon. So we need to suppress these mental defilements, which are called mental hindrances, nivarana, settle down, so that we can see clearly. When we get concentration, we will be able to keep these mental hindrances or nivarana settled. When the mental hindrances are subdued, or when they are subtle, mind becomes clear, and it is a time when clear comprehension or the true knowledge of Namarupa, true knowledge of the five aggregates arises. In order to get clear comprehension, we need concentration. And concentrations are not mentioned in this method. Here, the method is Atapi, Sambhajano, Satima. Ardent, clearly comprehending, and mindful. Concentration is not mentioned in this method, but we must take it that concentration is also included in our practice, because without concentration, we cannot get clear comprehension. Sometimes some words may be left out, but we have to understand them as mentioned through inference. Let's say there is a flat rock and a hunter is following a deer, and he sees footprints on one side, but on the flat rock itself, he does not see any footprints. And again, he sees the footprints on the other side. So from this, he infers that the deer must have run across the flat rock because he sees the beginning of the footprints and he sees the end of the footprints. So he infers the middle footprints that the deer must have run on that rock. In the same way, in our practice, to be mindful is the beginning, and clear comprehension is something like the end of our practice. So when these mindfulness and clear comprehension are mentioned, the middle is also virtually mentioned, because without the middle concentration, there can be no clear comprehension. Atapi sambajano satima, you are reminding yourself all the times. Mindful, satima, mindfulness is put last here, but actually in practice, mindfulness should come after atapi, ardent. You make effort, so you have mindfulness, and you have mindfulness, so you have concentration, and concentration leads to clear comprehension. So very systematic, you are putting effort continuously. It's a wonderful process. So you have mindfulness. But we have already defined mindfulness, so we do not need to define it again. A practitioner dwells contemplating the body in the body. A practitioner practices the foundations of mindfulness on the body, being ardent, making true effort, being mindful, and being thoroughly aware of the object, and having concentration and clear comprehension. So you remember you have true concentration because you put in effort continuously. Concentration, momentary concentrations are produced all the time. And wonderfully clear comprehension may come out. So you have this mental faculty, ardent, that faculty one, and clear comprehending. Another faculty, concentration. Another is mindfulness. ardent viriya, clear comprehension, pinya, wisdom, concentration, and mindfulness. So you have 4 mental faculties, controlling faculties. These 4 mental faculty or mental states are the components of the practice. When you practice, there must be these 4 mental states or mental faculty working together harmoniously. But there is one more mental faculties that is not mentioned in your method practice. Atapi, Samajano, Satima, and Samadhi. So that one more mental state is Saddha, faith or confidence. Confidence or faith is also an important factor because if you do not have confidence in this practice, you do not come here. If you do not have confidence in this practice, you would not practice 2 months intensive retreat. You do not really have blind faith, but you have faith or confidence in the true Buddha and his true teaching. You believe that just by paying attention to the presently arising object, presently arising namarupa, presently arising psychophysical phenomena, you will be able to see the true nature of this namarupa. You will be able to see the true nature of pinchakanda, upadanakanda, 5 aggregates of clinging, the impermanent, suffering, and non-soul nature. So you have that much confidence, because without confidence, no work can be successful. So confidence is also a part of the practice of this method, and although it is not actively operating at the moment of your meditation or practice of mindfulness, confidence is still there, working harmoniously with the other mental faculties. So altogether, you get 5 factors. And these are the 5 factors that are called Indriya, 5 controlling mental faculties. Meditation teachers are fond of talking about these 5 factors. These 5 factors must be working simultaneously and harmoniously with each other if you are to have a good practice of meditation. Kaye kaya nupasi viharati atapi sambajano satima vineya loke beja domanasam. Vineya, removing, overcoming. When your 5 mental faculties are working in balance and you are clearly comprehending, then what is the result? The result is overcoming covetousness and grief in the world, in the 5 khandha, in the namarupa. That is the result you get from clearly comprehending in the practice of mindfulness meditation, ekarako. Now here, English translation missed the point. Some translate it as having overcome, or having abandoned, or having removed covetousness and grief in the world. What is the practice for? What is this mindfulness practice for? Mindfulness practice is for overcoming abhijja and domanassa. It is for overcoming covetousness and grief. It is for overcoming desire and discontent. Abhijja, covetousness, means attachment, and domanassa, grief, means ill will or anger or discontentment. So vipassana or satipatthana method is for overcoming covetousness and grief. If you have already overcome abhijja and domanassa, covetousness and grief, you do not need to practice. For this very purpose, we are practicing mindfulness, but if we have already achieved this purpose, we do not need to practice mindfulness. So here we should translate it as Vinaya loke beja domanassa, overcoming covetousness and grief, overcoming desire and discontent in the world, and not having overcome. That means yogi overcome abhijja and domanassa, desire and discontent, or covetousness and grief, as you practice mindfulness. So we want you to be aware of this in grammar. Here an explanation with reference to Pali grammatical construction would be helpful, but since it would be too involved, we have no choice but to ignore it. Vinaya loke beja domanassa, overcoming desire and discontent, overcoming covetousness and grief in the world, means avoiding craving, avoiding attachment or anger or ill will concerning the object you are observing. In the world, loke means in the worlds of kaya, body, in the worlds of feeling, vedana, in the worlds of citta, consciousness, etc., concerning that object. If we come to the conclusion that it is beautiful or it is good, it is pleasurable, we will be attached to it, lobha, and we can have anger or hatred, dosa, towards that object if we decided it was ugly or disgusting. So these mental defilements can come into our minds when we experience something. In order to prevent them from arising, we need to make some protection, ekaraka. The protection is mindfulness. So when you are mindful, mental defilements will not get a chance to get into your minds. When you are mindful, when you comprehend clearly the namarupa or five aggregates arising and disappearing, when you see these objects clearly, you know that these phenomena coming and going, these phenomena are impermanent, suffering, and non-self. So, not to be attached to them. So, you can avoid abhijja and domanassa. You can avoid desire and discontent. You can avoid covetousness or attachment or grief or hatred regarding that phenomena by the practice of mindfulness. So what you are practicing is correct. You should not have no doubt. Try to put more effort to hit the object, to capture the objects thoroughly. So we continue next time. We have to stop our discuss for today. By practicing Satipatthana Vipassana meditation, by observing every phenomena occurring at the six senses, by noting, rising, falling, sitting, touching, seeing, hearing, continuously and meticulously, may all yogis dwell in the Ariyavasa, the abode of noble ones, gracefully. May all yogis be liberated from all suffering. May all yogis realize the real peace in the very near future. We have to recite Masatipatthana Odesa Bali. Ekayano ayam bhikkhave Mego Sadanam Visodiya Soga Paridevanam Samadegamaya Dukkha Domanasanam Atingamaya Yayasa Adigamaya Nivanasa Sajigiriyaya Yadidam Jadara Sadivatana Kadame Jadara Ida Bhikkhave Bhikkhu Kaye Kayanubasi Viharati Atabi Sambhajana Satima Vineya Loke Avijja Domanasam Vedanasu Vedananubasi Viharati Adabi Sambhajana Satima Vineya Loge Abhija Domanasam Chete Chetanubasi Viharati Atabi Sambhajanam Satima Vineya Loge Abhija Domanasam Dhammesu Dhammanubhasi Viharati Adabi Sambhajanam Satima Vineya Loge Abhija Domanasam. English translation. This is the only way, bhikkhus, for the purifications of beings, for the overcoming of sorrow and lamentation, pain and grief, for reaching the noble path, for the realizations of nirvana, namely the four foundations of mindfulness. What are the four? Here in the teaching, bhikkhus, bhikkhu dwells contemplating in the body, ardent, clearly comprehending and mindful, removing desire and discontent in the world. The bhikkhu dwells contemplating the feelings, ardent, clearly comprehending and mindful, the consciousness, ardent, clearly comprehending and mindful, removing desire and discontent in the world. Dhamma in the Dhammas, ardent and mindful, removing desire and discontent in the world. Honoring and sharing merits. Imayam Dhammanu Dhamma Patipadiya Bodham Bujemi Imayam Dhammanu Dhamma Patipadiya Dhammam Bujemi Imayam Dhammanu Dhamma Patipadiya Sangham Bujemi Imayam Dhammanu Dhamma Patipadiya Attabhidara Pujemi Imayam Dhammanu Dhamma Patipadiya Acariye Pujemi Adaimaya Pratibhada Jaya Jaramaranama Parimojai Sami Idame Bonya Asawakaya Waham Adu Idame Silam Megavalanyanasa Pachayadu Mano Punyavagan Savasadanam Demam Sabe Sadam Sigida Hondu Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu